Hello, I'm Harold Stevens. People say that I'm a dreamer, and I guess I am. At a very young age, a farm boy in fact, I wanted to sail the South Seas, and I wanted to do it in a very special way. I wanted my own schooner. I did it, and I'm going to tell you how I did it and how you can do it too. This is that dream, a 71-foot schooner. I had no rich uncle, no one gave it to me. I did it myself, and I built it, and I'm going to tell you how you can do the same. As a kid, I was greatly influenced by Jack London. I read all of his books, especially The Cruise of the North. He built his own schooner. What a dream. So could I. He went to Tahiti. So could I. Tahiti was a great experience. I began crewing on a number of boats like this Nordless, an American schooner, the trading boats all around the island. When the Bounty appeared in Tahiti to remake the movie Mutiny on a Bounty, I got a job as crewing on board, and eventually I was elevated to Marlon Brando's stand-in. After Tahiti, I began writing in earnest to make money to get that boat. I explored the jungles, looked for lost cities, and I made a motor trip around the world in a Toyota Land Cruiser. I arrived back in New York and started writing for Argosy magazine. This really changed my life. They sent me off to Hawaii to do a story on Stan Rayner. Stan had found an old hull in Honolulu and built it into a beautiful schooner. After the voyage, in my interview, I asked him if he would do it again. He said yes, in ferrous cement. Ferrous cement, a very controversial subject. I don't have time to go into it here, but I did write about it in full detail in my book. But now we'll go on to building that boat. Building in ferrous cement is a very simple process. Nothing complicated about it. You have a pattern, you lay it out, you put your boards on top, mark them, and then once they are cut out, you have all of your ribs. There's no expensive equipment needed to do this, just a little handsaw, electric handsaw, as you see me cutting out each individual frames right here. I cut all the frames in my backyard at my house in Singapore, and once they were finished, I loaded them onto my lorry. Here you can see they're larger than a bed of the truck. I'm at the yard here holding up the first frame just to see how it looks even without the strong back. But we're putting the strong back into place. This is very, very important. It has to line up and be accurate for the boat to take shape. I'm at the bow of the vessel looking aft. You see some of the frames are already in place and going up. Here's a better shot of the strong back, and you see the frames being put into place. They stretched for 71 feet, the whole length of the boat. We're putting up the first planks here. Remember, all these are going to be torn off. They're only to hold the frame of the boat, the concrete mixture that we're going to add. Here we're putting finishing touches to the stern, and the planking will fit right up next to the stern. In this next shot, I'm going to give you a complete view of the whole entire boat with all of the frames set, and all we have to do now is the planking. And in this next one, you're going to see my friend Mort Rosenblum, who had some doubt about the construction. He thought I was crazy, like a lot of people did. I'm finishing up the woodwork here. The last of the woodwork on the stern, and we're getting ready now to lay in the first layer of mesh, followed by reinforcing bars, 2 inches one way and 6 inches the other way. We move to the bow of the ship. You see us bending the bars over the bow, and we also spot weld each one of these joints. There was something like 8,000 spot welds that had to be done. Here's another shot. It's the inside of the boat up near the bow. You can see how we lay out the whole deck, getting ready for the cementing, which is coming very, very soon. And that day did come. I had 35 people that arrived helping me lay up the cement. We did have professional plasters, though, and that is very, very important. Although some of us tried our luck at plastering on the inside of the hull, which would be covered with boards anyway. The entire process took 8 hours, and you can see the end results is like a china cup. When you get professional plasters, it can be done very well and very beautifully. We built the schooner upside down, for I felt that I could get a better penetration and a better job. Unfortunately, you have to turn the boat over. This was a big concern, but it went rather well. We hired 2 cranes, brought them in, attached our cable. Slowly the boat begins to turn over, and it's a very frightening moment, of course. This is a shot on top once the boat is turned over. Now we get ready to do the other work. There's some tough work below deck, as you can see. All the wood has to go, everything, and some of it's in some very tight positions, like in the keel here. Nevertheless, a lot of the plastering can be done by ourselves, since it's going to be covered over with panels anyway. But you can see the end results here, the stern, after it's plastered and the ribs are plastered into place. It looks very good. It's finally taking the shape of a boat. Beautiful boat at that. The boat is upright now, and we can begin to do the final touches before we launch. Of course, launching is the big day. Here we are. We have our 1 crane coming in position. We pick up the schooner and deposit into the river in Singapore. In Singapore, I installed an engine and motored to Bangkok, where labor was $2 a day for good carpentry work, and there was good teeth. Couldn't ask for anything better. I kept the design on my schooner traditional. Here you see a fife rail, no winches, and also the inside of the schooner was done in teak with really good craftsmanship by the local carpenters. And here is the final result. The schooner Third Sea, ready to go out, conquer the world. And that we did. We set sail for the waters of Asia and the South Pacific as soon as we could. Here's a shot from the top of the mast looking down, and another shot from the bow of the ship looking aft. And we have all the crew gathered around the helm as we sail across the Pacific. I always sent up a masthead watch when we neared land. Remember, this was a voyage of exploration, one of the reasons that I built the schooner Third Sea. And now the big question, was it all worth it? Well, you can ask this happy crew right here. Their answer is a resounding yes. I had some good crew. This was my nephew Robert Stedman, who spent many years as my first mate sailing across the Pacific, and our friend Mort Rosenblum, the skeptic. He knew at once when he sailed with me that it is possible. No joke anymore. We arrived in Honolulu after a long voyage across the Pacific, and of course I was anxious to get back to Tahiti. And the next shot is a schooner anchored in Papeete Harbor, looking across the way to Moorea. What a happy moment to return to where the idea, the dream began. To ferro cement, I could have never had this boat, and a dream could have never come true. But ferro cement made it possible, and I hope you enjoy what you have seen. It is possible for anyone to do the same.